And here we are again. Yes, it's Thursday night. It's STC night. The Sim Racing Team Challenges here with you, brought to you by GameHosters.net. And this is Eckhard von Glan speaking to you live from the north of Germany. And with me, as usual, my team, and that's of course Jose Estrada. Hello, Jose.
Hello, Eckhard. Hello, everybody.
And David Garcia currently taking care of the safety car, so he'll be with us a little later. And Jose, everything all set and ready for another great night of racing?
Yes, but you forgot to introduce our guest commentator today, Eckhard.
Well, that's because I didn't know we had one, but there we are. It's Keith Barry. Hello, Keith.
Hey, Eckhard, how are you? I'm glad I could finally join you in the booth here today.
That's brilliant. How are you?
Not too bad. It's a little cold and a little windy here in Canada, but I'm sitting at my desk at my office right now, and that's how dedicated I am to this sport.
Brilliant. So we have some original Canadian background information here for this race in Canada. Trois Rivieres, I understand it's in Quebec, in the French-speaking part of Canada, so that's not where you are from, is it?
No, it is not. I've been to Three Rivers, great town. There's a nice gentleman's club just down the street that I'm sure all the drivers headed to the other night. It's an interesting course, and I think these cars here make for some really good racing. Narrow, you got to be on your toes the entire day, so should be good to see how the day plays out.
Yep. Narrow, I think, is the name of the game, and narrow indeed is what we see in the points table. Because even though the season is already 3 races old, and this is meet number 4 that we have tonight, it's pretty narrow. It's the Roaring Pipes Maniacs in position number 1 with 145 points. They are a bit away from the rest of the pack. But Gameracer FlatOut Racing are playing catch-up at 127 points, followed by Flying Dutchman Racing at 120 points, Gubbklubben really close behind at 119, and then Flying Canadian Racing, 103 points for them. Those are the 5 top teams, so to speak. We have the Black Rebels following position 6 at 85 points. Corse Online from Italy, they're probably not too happy about the season so far. They were something like, well, the secret contenders really are aiming for one of the top 3 positions in this year's championship. They're down in 7 for 73 points. Then a new team, Waterloo Racing, in 8 for 59 points. Torrent Motorsports for 43 points. Tied with Gameracer FlatOut Club for 43 points as well in position number 9. And sad to see my old team, Blue Flag Racing, keep that blue flag flying guys in 37 points in position number 11. So there's your roundup of the standings so far. And Keith, you said you expect some close fights. What teams do you expect to be up in front tonight?
Well, I mean, generally you can expect to have Roaring Pipes up front, Gameracer as well. There's some strong drivers there. Flying Dutchman also has a good team put together, and I know for a fact, obviously because my team's Flying Canadian Racing, that they put in a lot of testing. Their team engineer Wesley Hartog is probably the hardest working man in sim racing. And he does a lot of the behind-the-scenes work, and he deserves the credit because really, I mean, it comes down to preparation when you're racing at this high level, and I do think we're going to see some battle between. If I was to take a guess between Mikko and Jesper for the top spot for this race, maybe even a better race than Daytona that happened the last STC race.
Yeah, that's going to be really hard to beat. I mean, those of you who watched it, it was a very, very, very close finish. I can, of course, only watch it from the confines of the Doran, ootling away somewhere in the back. I think it was 4 laps down or something. But anyway, I brought it home. Da-da-da-da! So, but at the front, the pace is really immense. And how about tires here at Three Rivers or Trois Rivieres? Do you guess guys will be on a 2-stop or maybe even a 3-stop strategy?
If I was to take a guess, I think you're going to see between a 1 and a 2 stop, because we saw the same thing at Fundadora Park. where I think it was Gubbklubben, I can't remember the driver, but he ran a one-stopper and surprised everyone and pulled off, I believe it was a top, I think 4th place finish, and no one was expecting
something along those lines.
Yeah, and I believe that that the one-stopper, if you're able to conserve your tires, may be the quick way to go here, because you're dealing with a tight circuit, and you're going to be coming up on lap traffic very frequently, so track position will be more important than having a quick pit stop, because if you can get ahead and have about 3 or 4 lap cars between you and the guy that's chasing you with fresh tires, you might just be able to wind down the clock.
Yep, sounds good. Sounds good. So we're going to have like maybe 1, maybe 2, or maybe even 3 with some of the guys. Let's just see how everything works out here. Right now, the players are joining the grid, and this gives me a chance to tell you about the qualification results, because I don't think we'll have the chance to have a rundown of the full grid in the 1 minute that'll take, or about 2 minutes that'll take to go round here in the outlap. So let me tell you quickly who we'll see starting at the back. In position number 22, you'll see Jakob de Boer of Blue Flag Racing, who joined the race just with about 1 minute or so to go, because he's only our reserve driver. In 21, we have Ken Bell for the Gameracer FlatOut Club. In 20, it's Reggie Blaine for the Torrent Motorsports. In 19, Nick Newcomb for the Gameracer FlatOut Club. In 18, Göran Johansson for Gubbklubben. In 17, Konrad Stanchak for the Blue Flag Racing. In 16, Christopher Aponte for Roaring Pipes Maniacs. That's pretty far down the grid for RPM, so they're not going to be too happy about that. And he's going to have a really difficult time moving up the grid, especially on a tight track like this here. Where was I? Sorry, I was with Christopher Aponte in 16. Ihab Abbas, formerly of Eni, now with Waterblue Racing. In 15, Jakob de Boer of the Flying Dutchman Racing. In 14, Dariusz Swiderski of the Black Rebels. In 13, Danny Asbury, who wrote a superb mid-season article on the race department homepage. Go and read it if you haven't. Thanks, Danny. He's in 12 in the top 30 dozen there. Then Nicola Dorigatti for Corse Online Racing in 11, and that leads us to the top 10. And Jose, will we join the grid now live and in color?
Yes, exactly, Eckhart. We are following the safety car with David Garcia.
Brilliant. That means we can give the top 10 in the correct order, so to speak, and then show these players on your screen. So we have in position number 1, setting the fastest time, Jesper Taulborg for Flying Canadian Racing. That's great at a Canadian track, of course. Then Mikko Korkiakoski for Gameracer FlatOut in 2. Marijn van Bommel for the Flying Dutchman Racing in 3. Rami Kaukola of Roaring Pipes Maniacs in 4. Adam Shaw for Gameracer FlatOut in 5. So both Game Racers in great position. Chris Jack for the Black Rebels, fantastic result in position number 6. Dariusz Swiderski for the Waterblue Racing in 7. Tyler Scurlock for the Flying Canadian Racing, so they have 2 cars in the top 10 in 8. Alessio Lucchesi for Corse Online Racing in 9. And bit of a disappointment here, fastest Gubbklubben guy, Daniel Beck, only in position number 10. Well, that's your roundup then, top 22, and we're approaching the couple of the last section here, before we go out onto the start and finish straight in half a second. So let's stick with the top here and see how the start goes. There's a little bend before we head out onto the Avenue Gilles Villeneuve. That's the start and finish straight. And then there's a right-hander, and it's going to be very, very close in that right-hander. We have the last kink now. It's, I think it's also called Villeneuve, difficult to read on the map that I have here. And, but it looks as if David Garcia has decided to put in a second lap. Yes, he has. Did you notice anything, Keith, in the back of the grid? Any irregularities? Any reason why David does a second lap?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm actually just following along with the current broadcast, so I'm a little bit delayed. I was watching the live timing, and nothing seemed to be out of the ordinary. He might just want to keep the cars may not have been as bunched up as he would have liked, so and it is tough at a track that's this short because the times that you're going from slow speed up to your pace speed, it's like a snake effect, like when you get stuck in traffic on the highway.
Yep. Pretty much like it. So here we go then. Second time round, and it's of course Jesper Taulborg for the Flying Canadian Racing, white and red car, following David Garcia in the all-green pace car. And they're down in the longest straight now, which is called the Boulevard du Carmel, and heading into turn 6 actually.
One thing I noticed that car in. Sorry to interrupt. One thing I noticed in warm-up, I was keeping track of the times, and Jesper and Mikko in full race trim were only 0.003 of a second apart, which is unbelievable.
Yep. Narrow seems to be the catchphrase for tonight, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Narrow splits between drivers and narrow walls keeping them in.
And David stays out another lap. I wonder what's going on. Everything looks pretty fine to me. And here he's out and races off. Taulborg, and Taulborg has a huge problem with Korkiakoski coming up on the inside. They're into turn 1 now. Taulborg running wide and into the tires, and he's taking out that Black Rebels racer there who was in position number 6. There's Chris Jock. Oh my goodness. Big mishap here for Taulborg. He's basically out of the race. He's basically out of the race. What happened there?
I actually saw it delayed, and there was actually contact with Mikko headed into turn 1. He caught his rear corner
and put him into
the tires. Yes, and it's, you know what, it's for such a long race, 90 minutes, to be that anxious it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Korkiakoski was up they were side by side going down the start and finish straight. Korkiakoski obviously had taken a slight advantage over Jesper Taulborg. He was, of course, not supposed to overtake before the start and finish line. I didn't check if that actually happened, so that's maybe the reason why he didn't actually get past. He had to wait until they passed the start and finish straight, and then he tapped him slightly. Taulborg went off, or maybe even Jesper didn't quite get his break point. At any rate, here we have Martin van Bommel, position number 1. He's the lucky third. And Rami Kaukola for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. These two managed to pass on the inside with absolutely no problem whatsoever. And there's a bit of a gap behind them opening up. And in number 3 we have Korkiakoski himself, who does have a slightly dented car in the front right, so might have some problems, and it might lead to tire problems later on. And he is followed by the second of the racer FlatOut cars, that's Adam Shaw, and he is in turn followed by the surviving Canadian racer Tyler Scurlock. But well, that was an exciting beginning to the race here.
Yeah,
we saw that before. I think not last time, but the one before, we saw a little incident also in turn 1, and here we see actually Jesper Taulborg coming out of the pit lane, I think 2 laps down at this point, and he really had to repair the whole car, obviously. So this is going to be difficult, because obviously now he's a bit faster than the guys in front, because he beat them in qualification, but it's just a tiny wee little bit. It's going to be really difficult to unlap himself. And let me tell you about... Yeah, Keith, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just agreeing that the problem is now he's got the pace, and he will be doing his best to unlap himself. And he with how many that we've got? 81 minutes remaining in the race. There's a very good chance that he could pull himself back up the grid as things do happen. So he's got the fighting spirit. The Iceman he never seems to. He always keeps his head in the game.
Yep, definitely. And I mean, the interesting thing is that now he has Korkiakoski behind him, so it really looks as if nothing had happened. That was a weird, really a weird coincidence, isn't it?
Yes, it is, definitely.
And I wonder what happened to that Black Rebels player. That's just such a pity. I mean, they were up in 6, haven't been up there for ages. Chris Jock. And Jose, maybe you have any news of what happened to him?
No, not really, Eckhart, because I'm at the cameras. Maybe in the live timing we can know more with that.
Yeah, Chris Schock's fallen back to, it looks like, 22nd. And it looks like he did. Yes, and it looks like, I believe he went in as well to fix the damage. Let's just have a look here. Yeah, he did. He did.
Yep.
Pitted the first lap, and I think Chris actually made a second pit stop on the third lap to see if he to get maybe miss something in his first pit stop. So.
Yep. It was obviously a very hectic situation. I mean, you only have about a minute or so on this track, so very tight, and you have a broken up car, and you know it's really difficult just to get around the track with your door in that condition, and then you have to set all the correct bits and pieces for the pit stop. So maybe got something wrong there. Right now, as we were following, we saw Rami Kaukola in some trouble there. He nearly crashed. He just managed to put it off. That was a close one, and we see Van Bommel pulling away, and we see Korkiakoski trying to overtake Jesper Taulborg. And this is what I just wanted to say. He gets shown the blue flags. I should know what I'm talking about, so the blue flag rules here. But he's not going to get disqualified, Jesper, for ignoring the blue flags. So he gets shown the blue flags, and in the game, if you're playing with the AI, you get disqualified if you disrespect the blue flag. But that's not going to happen, so we set that off. To allow for a situation like this where someone who is obviously a very quick player gets a blue flag because of some mishap and then has to let people pass who are much slower than him. In this case, of course, obviously Korkiakoski is not much slower, but Jesper let him pass right now, and Korkiakoski is on a run here, and Rami really has problems defending against Mikko, and Rami's car looks, I don't know what, it looks pretty weird coming out of the turns. What do you say, Keith?
Well, I mean, it's I'm a little bit behind here, but Mikko's a strong competitor. You know, he knows where to make his moves and make it count, which is why the first turn was a little uncharacteristic of Mikko. I used to be teammates with him myself, but Rami does know how to defend too, and it's you know, as the tires start to wear, you'll see who's done their training, who can manage the car in kind of adverse conditions and still be able to make a clean pass. So we'll as this goes on, we'll see that. But one thing I'm noticing is that the people who have really kind of taken advantage of the first turn incident is FlatOut Racing. They've they've got two guys third and fourth right now for a lot of points. Obviously, that's going to be dependent on if there was a penalty or not, because I mean, if there's damage on Mikko's front left, which was exactly where Jesper would have been touched. So I guess we'll see. The race officials will go through it all and see. That's the beauty of STC is the officiating, and but until then, we still have a race to watch.
Yeah, definitely, and we of course leave any decision then for next week, beginning of next week, and see how that works out on the forum. But right now, Rami has steadied his ride a little, it seems, and it's dented on the right-hand side, mind you, so there must have been some contact along the way for him too. And he does have a little odd line from, and Korkiakoski now oversteering a little out of that turn and going into the wall, so that might again point to a little problem he has with that front right tire, or with that front right suspension, which is kind of banged up. And at the same time now, Kaukola going into the wall. So what's going on here? These are top players, and they actually really have problems here keeping between the walls. I think it's just the incredible speed that they have, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and also it's, you know, if the damage is suspension damage, it's going to affect him on particular corners, and the worst part of it is the long-term effects. Is the tire wear is going to change, and the strategy is going to have to change. Everything is going to be affected by one small little to the wall, and that hit he just took, I did catch that. That wasn't a light tap, and that's on the same side that he already had the damage. So it's going to be compounded, and as the race carries on, it's going to it could just keep getting worse, and it could be tough.
Yes.
He may have to do a quick change of his strategy, maybe from a one-stopper now to a two-stopper.
Yep, and that's why the top teams actually have people on TeamSpeak advising their players on the strategy. That's what I find quite amazing. People putting in their free time, they're just, they're not playing in the game. They don't really have time to watch what's going on, but they're figuring out the strategy. That's just amazing, isn't it? Do you use that?
Well, yeah, actually, I said that in the pre-race there was for the FDR and FCR kind of brother-sister team that we put together. Wesley Hartog has been our race engineer for the majority of this season, and he does an incredible job. And he's always in the air. He's always keeping track of telemetry from a distance, and it's a big team effort when coming to race in STC, and the FDR guys do it as best as anybody, and that's what I've always found with these guys. That's kind of why I created the Flying Canadian Racing team and have teamed up alongside with them.
Oh, brilliant. So they're already running up on catching up on Theo de Boer here for Blue Flag Racing, so that's the first real lapping, so to speak, someone who wasn't involved, even though his racer is already also banged up somewhere on the front right, I think, but that's just bound to happen on this track here. So he gives room now to Kaukola to pass, and Korkiakoski is trying to catch a bit of a slipstream and then move past, and everything worked fine. And Little Voice tells me that we're following P5.
Yes.
So sorry guys if that wasn't on your screen, and we're with Tyler Scurlock for Flying Canadian Racing, who is putting a lot of pressure, I can see, on the second of the Gameracer FlatOut players, and that is Adam Shaw. So Tyler Scurlock, never heard of him before. Well, I have seen the name, but can you tell us a little bit about him?
Well, Tyler's he's a fellow U.S. racer. I picked him up to join Flying Canadian for STC, and also for any other leagues that may come up. Younger guy, just really loves racing, and I from the first time I met him, ooh, you just put a nice move on there. Ooh.
Yep. That was really close. That was really close indeed, but he managed to pull it off. I mean, actually, he managed to not do anything wrong in that first turn where we saw the problem in the first lap. And so, and now he's very close again, and he's touching. He is indeed touching Adam Shaw, and that makes Adam Shaw go very slow, and that makes the Corse Online guy catching up. That is Alessio Lucchesi. He might be the one taking advantage of all this hassle here. And now Scurlock, another touch again, and Lucchesi in behind. This is extremely close racing here by these three. Very close indeed. Lucchesi playing it safe here. Another touch. And now they're out onto the start and finish straight again. And we see Tyler attacking on the outside now. He is on the outside. He's he's just trying everything basically, going from left to right, but there's just no way around Adam Shaw. But this is going to cost them a lot of time, and they're going to lose contact to the people in position number 3 and 2, to Rami Kaukola and Mikko Korkiakoski. But yeah, Tyler's showing a really level head here, especially for a young guy.
Yeah, I mean he's not all that young. I mean Jesper's the youngest on the team, but Tyler he had a little bit of misfortune at Daytona. It was his first race in STC. He had a little bit of contact and had to suffer some damage really early on. And I've got really high hopes for him, and I know he puts in the work, and it's showing off in this race because he's tested, he's done his work.
It's brilliant the way he defended right now. He had to draw back a little from Adam Shaw, so in order not to touch him in that 90-degree kink there. Then he had Dorigatti all over his back, and he made it perfectly. He just took the turn a little wider and then allowed for the runoff area. He went into that and caught the car there, and then came back. And now they're coming up to another bunch of lapped competitors, and they have to slip past in front of that arch. They do. And that's another Gameracer FlatOut Club player there who is lapped, and Scurlock again now chasing him down into that 90 degrees turn, but it's very difficult to pass there because that turn is just difficult to take in its own right, and then if you're trying to attack at the same time, it's really beastly.
Oh yes, and He's got, I believe he's going to get by Adam Shaw here. He's got the pace. It's just he's trying to do it properly. He doesn't want to force the issue. It is early. He's trying to keep his car together, and I do know he's working on his strategy. He's obviously keeping his strategy in mind, because I don't know if he's on a 1 or a 2 stopper. That Wesley is the engineer, but it'll be we'll find out very shortly here, because we're coming up 20 minutes into the race. We did 2 pace laps, so that changes the strategy a little bit as well too.
Yeah, though I doubt whether it would really change very much. So, here we have then the rundown from position number 5, Tyler Scurlock in 5, and taking it a bit easy now, easing up a bit the pressure here on Adam Shaw. Then in 6 we have Alessio Lucchesi for Corse Online Racing. He was in 9, so he actually profited from the mayhem at the start. Then in 7, Dariusz Swiderski for the Waterblue Racing, same position that he started in, and he is leading a pack here of 4 players very close together. Daniel Beck for Gubbklubben in 8, he is up a little. Then in 9 we have Nicola Dorigatti. And we stay with this battle for the moment because it's just so narrow. We see Dorigatti, and Dorigatti is under pressure again from Jakob de Boer. And Jakob de Boer in turn is followed by Dariusz Swiderski. So we really have 5 players here very, very close together. So before we go on with the rundown, let's just stick with those for about, let's say, like 2 or 3 laps. And we see Daniel Beck doing whatever he can to get past that water blue car, and that is Dariusz Swiderski. Dariusz running wide here, but that's all within bounds. And into that turn now, very clear lines. And they're now coming up to a lapped player, one of the Torrent Motorsports fellows. So let's see how they all get past him. That might open up just a wee little chance for the Gubbklubben player to just move past, for Daniel Beck to make his move here on Swiderski. Swiderski always taking a bit of the more careful line, and now Beck tries to do something here on the inside of that arch, and it doesn't work out at all. And he nearly had Dorigatti touching him, and Dorigatti actually has to brake a lot, and now he's in serious trouble because he does have De Boer and he does have Swiderski right behind him, but he managed to just get away from them. But in the front, that Waterblue player, Dariusz Swiderski, has now lapped the Torrent player and has put him as kind of a safety barrier between him and the Gubbklubben players. So, yeah, we can move on with the rundown. That was very close racing indeed, but all of the gentlemen racers here did what they had to do, and without any accident, this situation played itself out. So, position number 7, Dariusz Swiderski, as I was already saying, for Waterblue Racing. Position number 8, Daniel Beck for the Gubbklubben of Sweden. Position number 9, Nicola Dorigatti for the Corse Online from Italy. Position number 10, from the Netherlands, Jakob de Boer for Flying Dutchman Racing. Followed very closely indeed by another Polish guy, Dariusz Swiderski, playing for the Spanish team, the Black Rebels, in their traditional yellow colors, whereas we also have a black-colored Black Rebels car on the grid. Oh, and Swiderski went off, and he has to let the whole group pass, so they're all up 1 position, and I'm just hearing that we should move up. Guys, we'll do the rundown sooner or later, but we're just moving up the grid to position number 2 and 3, and she'll say, just give me a thumbs up the moment we are in positions 2 and 3.
And just we got a bit of a championship battle going on.
Korkiakoski tries to make a move on Rami Kaukola, but that was not the best position and not the cleverest thing to do, I would say. That was a really tough one, and he banged into Rami Kaukola there. He banged into him on the inside, and I think he wanted to take advantage of that Gameracer FlatOut Club player being overtaken. And I don't really think there was any space for that maneuver, but it's difficult to judge if you just see it on the fly, and I have to watch the replay to really comment on that, and we don't have a quick replay in this game platform here. But to me it looked as if there was not enough room there for two cars, and it also looked as if Mikko Korkiakoski was forcing this just a little bit too early, but there he is. He's passed Rami Kaukola, Kaukola in 3, Korkiakoski in 2, and Marijn van Bommel still in number 1 for the Flying Dutchman Racing, and obviously having a bit of a lonely race out there. And Keith,
the pass, yes.
Cameraman moves us to 4, and Kaukola seems to have sustained serious damage in that hit, actually, because he does have problems just keeping the car on the line here. So
yeah, it looks like it.
Let's see how that works out. And we move to position number 4, is what cameraman tells me, because there is that battle. It's actually in the interesting part is 5 and 6, isn't it? Because we have Adam Shaw and Alessio Lucchesi still fighting. Yeah, still fighting for position 5 and 6 as they have earlier on.
Yes, then Tyler's maintained his pace. He actually just ran his quickest lap of the race on lap 21. He did a 101. Sorry, it wasn't his quickest lap. He was a second off of his quickest, 21 laps in on the tires, which is really, really quick. I mean, he's lapping as quick as the leaders is, and it took him a few laps to get himself by Adam Shaw cleanly. And well done to Tyler for that move.
Yep, and now he's obviously making headway, because look at the distance he's put between Adam Shaw and he is Flying Canadian Racer, and it's already, if you look at that, it's already half the start and finish rate. And also, looking at the sky, there's some rain coming up, isn't there? Even though the forecast was sunny.
Yeah, the forecast was all for sun, and I'm surprised we're seeing any clouds. I don't know if anyone would have been tested for the wet.
I don't know. We didn't. I'm not really spinning any secrets here, and it's not really important, actually, whether blue flag end up in 16 or 17, to be quite honest. But we didn't do any testing at all in the rain, and so because it was all sun all the way through. I think you should have a quick phone call with Wesley.
Yeah, I think we need a new weatherman. That's what we need. Well, I guess all weather though is it's never going to be perfect. I mean, you know, it's cloudy with a chance of sun and possible showers.
Yep. I just read an article in the newspaper yesterday that they get only 7 days a year wrong on average. If it's the broadcast that's done, the forecast that's done the day before, they only get 7 out of the whole year wrong. This must be one of the 7.
Yep. Well, it should
so
be
David,
interesting.
David, you're with us. Tell us, why did you do a second outlap?
Yeah, hello guys. Well, there has been a bit of a contact between some cars under the gate, so I reduced the pace, trying to let them get back to the group, but it was not possible. So when I reached the main straight, I had to show the red flag and go for a second lap.
Okay, and then you didn't pull into the pit lane, but you pulled off to the left-hand side, so to speak. And do you think that surprised Jesper Taulborg?
No, not really, because I tell them on the chat, on the warm-up.
Ah, okay. Okay, so he was, because it looked as if Mikko definitely had a much better start, and I was trying to figure out why that was so, because Jesper usually is a pretty good starter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't show a red flag. I only tell them to keep the pace and formation as I usually do, and then once I was on a safe place, I showed the green lights, so it was a normal start. I mean.
Yeah, it looked as, but I was just wondering because Korkiakoski was so quick and then actually managed to nearly overtake him already on the start and finish straight. Right, thanks David for that information. And Keith, you obviously have access to the live timing. How much time of the race has elapsed so far?
Well, we're coming up on 30 minutes. Okay, so as a two-stop strategy, we're going to be talking. You'd be pitting anywhere between. Well, now and in 10 minutes, because if you pit early and you want to get your fuel in, and maybe do a less fuel stop for the final one. But I would say if anyone's on a two-stop strategy, they'll be pitting within the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Yep, it might be. However, it might be that.
Ooh, Jakob.
The players also watch the sky and decide to stay out just a little longer to see if it starts raining.
Oh, for sure. Well, and also the engineers, using with the new technology or the technology of having telemetry from a distance, you can actually kind of keep track of the barometric pressure and kind of predict if it is going to rain or if it's just some cloud cover, and then. The engineers, I know Wesley's probably going through the telemetry right now trying to figure it out and see if they do need to be pitting for tires, because if it's just a quick rain and it only gets up to about 30%, you don't want to get those rains on and then run, then it dries up within 20 minutes and you end up having to do a 3-stop.
Yeah, that would be a pity. Indeed. Right, so we have the same fight that we had before. It's Nicola Dorigatti in 9 for Corse Online. It's Jakob de Boer in 8 for the Flying Dutchman Racing. It's Daniel Beck in 7 for the Gubbklubben. And in position number 10 we have Dariusz Swiderski for the Black Rebels. And this is really extremely close racing here of these 4. And I think they're all kind of testing if there's actually room anywhere at all on this track to get past. And it looks as if there isn't, and they're just like stuck together with glue, aren't they?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when you're in the car, you think there's room, but then when you start getting to the apex, all of a sudden the room just disappears, and you wonder if you're still on the same track.
Yep, it certainly does. Let me confess, I just hate street circus because you have to be so precise, and a bad player like me on precision, that just doesn't work.
Well, and you know what it is? It's complete concentration, and one lapse is basically ruin a 90-minute race. You can go 85 minutes of the race and get distracted by a butterfly.
And there they go. Just as we're talking, it was Dorigatti touching the inside of under that arch, and he drops down to 11 because he caught one of the other players. Danny Asprey slipped past. He caught Swiderski. He caught Swiderski. Oh no! And Jakob de Boer now has a clean ride. Daniel Beck has a clean ride, and just as we were talking about it, he must have slipped in his concentration for a wee tiny bit of a second, and he caught, I think, the front left a little bit on that inside of that arch. And I can see the first players pitting in, actually. Swiderski is going into the pits, so there we go.
As well.
Yeah, Tyler Scurlock is in, and also one of the Torrent Motorsports.
It's a pretty early stop by Tyler, I would say, because if you factor in two pace laps of a little over a minute and a half, that's 3 minutes. So they're pitting at literally right on the 30-minute mark. So that's a pretty early pit, but maybe they want to get some tires on because maybe they think the rain may be coming headed to the second portion of the race.
Yeah, possible.
We've got.
I was just talking about Daniel Beck and Göran Johansson having now, with 2 of their competitors gone, they're having an easy time, but far from it. They're still slugging it out here. Göran in 9, and that's Christopher Aponte. Christopher Aponte in 10. So that's Göran Johansson and Christopher Aponte. Yes, David.
Mikko just pit.
Mikko is in, okay. Wow, Mikko, let's have a look at these pit times.
He's already out, P5.
5. Who else pitted? Tyler pitted. Mikko did his pit stop was a 130, his in lap was a 131.7, and Tyler's was a 141.6. So there's it might be something to do with his pit stall. I'm just thinking that Tyler might have lost
Aponte
about 10
moves
seconds.
past. Sorry to interrupt. Aponte moves past just in front of the arch. He's been like a pinball banging from wall to wall. And look at his car's all banged up, and then he decided to make a move, and it really helped a lot that Johansson actually braked, I think,
Guys,
at maximum, because to let him slip past. That was a great move here by Christopher Aponte, and he really has to put in a great performance today, because the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, they have a player in 3, but they now have a player in 9, so they're starting to collect points. Yes, David.
yeah, we had already Martin van Bommel at pit out at P4.
Oh, yes, yep, yeah, and Mikko took over the lead after the pit stops.
Yes.
It looks like Mikko might have shorted his fueling, because
Yes.
he pitted at a 131.777. Martin did a 140.099, and Tyler did a 141.68. So I think Mikko, what he has done to get himself some track position, has taken less fuel in this stop, and he's going to be going through and taking more fuel later on, because now he's got some clean track to maybe build himself a gap. So the goal for Martin right now is going to be putting down some fast laps and trying to keep the gap as little as possible, because 9 seconds in the pits is worth a lot out of the pits.
Yep, it definitely is. However, I mean, clean track. There's just lapped players
Yeah,
all
okay.
over the place. They're currently,
I guess I should.
It's all relative, isn't it?
Yeah, I spoke a little too soon with the clean track. I guess that just means clean. You don't have any cars really in front of you that you're racing with.
Yep, exactly.
But-
and it's going to
but
be
it-
much easier with the guys being shown the blue flag to get past,
Yes.
rather than having to fight for position.
Oh, what was that? I just caught something on the camera there. Adam Shaw was in P2. Oh, that was a lap car. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind because I'm watching the broadcast, so I kind of.
Yeah, don't worry.
I can do a little
Yes,
bit of a rundown
just
on
to put the
replays.
guys, just to put this straight, we have Rami Kaukola now in position number 1, and shall say, I think now is the time for a rundown, because just to make sure we catch everything here on the track.
Sure, record.
We have Kaukola in position number 1. So, Kaukola in 1, and here comes the rundown pretty quickly, and we're going to do it all the way through, because some of the players, we haven't had them on the screen at all tonight, which is always a pity. In 2, Adam Shaw for Gameracer FlatOut hasn't pitted yet, and car looks pretty good, actually. In 3, his teammate Mikko Korkiakoski, who is now coming up to a huge traffic jam, so much about the clean track. In 4, Marijn van Bommel for the Flying Dutchman Racing. In 5, Jakob de Boer, his teammate, still fighting with position number 6, Daniel Beck for Gubbklubben.
Jesper at pit.
Thank you very much. Jesper Taulborg at pit. In 7, Alessio Lucchesi for the Corse Online. In 8, Christopher Aponte for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. In 9, second Gubbklubben player, Göran Johansson. Followed, I think, yes indeed, by Tyler Scurlock for the Flying Canadian Racing, who's just now passing his teammate in the pits. In 11, Danny Asbury for the Torrent Motorsports, a pretty good race by him. Started in 12, still in 11, car a bit banged up, front left, but everything's fine there for Danny.
Some battle scars.
In 12, Dariusz Swiderski, and sky's getting darker and darker, by the way. We saw him running into trouble earlier on. In 13, he's Dariusz in 12-13, Dariusz Swiderski for the Black Rebels in the yellow car. 14, Nicola Dorigatti 15, Konrad Stamczak for the blue flag, and I'm very happy to say, still in the race. Go Konrad, go, and very good indeed. 15, that's brilliant. 16, Ihab Abbas for the, I was going to say Amy, but no, for Water Blue Racing. Followed by 17, Chris Jack, who was one of the people who really suffered from the start incident. He was in 6, and now he's down in 17, but going strong there for the Black Rebels. In 18, Jesper Taulborg, the second one, and look at that car, it is just completely messed up in the front. Oh my goodness. It's not going to be a joy for any second at all playing that car. Oh my goodness, poor Jesper. Jesper, if you watch the replay, we're suffering with you. This looks absolutely dreadful.
Poor guy. And this is our pole sitter here too.
Yep. Just you know, rubbing it in again. Nick Newcomb in 19. Haven't seen him a lot today for Gameracer FlatOut Club. Also another banged up car there. In 20, also has a fight for position. Reggie Blaine for the Torrent Motorsports, going sideways as he approaches the arch, and then out of the arch and onto that long, slightly bent straight. 21, Theo de Bruyn for the Blue Flag Racing, so we still have both cars on the track, which is always good news for Blue Flag. And then 22, Ken Bell, and now, I mean, that's the big surprise, isn't it, Keith? All of the players are still in the game, and yes, it's starting to rain. I just saw behind Ken Bell a bit of wet, you know, these little white stripies showing there, and yes, indeed, the track is getting wet.
No. Well, here's what's happening now, Eckhart, is the guys who pitted on a two-stop strategy are basically they're in a tough spot. They're going to be all the people who have gained position because of being on a one-stop, and it looks to me like Rami is on a one-stop, Adam Shaw is on a one, Jakob de Boer is on a one-stop. And also Alessio, Lucchesi, Christopher Aponte, those guys are all on one-stops, and basically this levels the playing field for stops completely and starts strategy from this point on. If it does wet, they're going to have to go in. The guys who are on a two-stopper have to go in with the guys who are on a one-stopper. If it gets wet enough, we're going to see some interesting last half racing.
Definitely, and it's getting wet quickly. I mean, I can already now not only see these little white lines behind the cars, but there's also virtual rain visible now in front of the camera. So that means it's not only a wet track, but it's also actually raining. And the guys are going to notice right now, if they haven't noticed before. I mean, I'm one of the dumbos. I really only notice it after about 2 or 3 laps. I wonder, well, where's that brake point gone? And they're definitely going to notice what's going on, especially on a tight track like this. And narrow being the name of the game tonight, it's going to get even closer now, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to get more narrow. And you know what? What's really amazing is that Rami Kaukola has roughly about a 20-second lead according to live timing here, which could be a little bit either way. And you know, he was struggling so much in the early going of the race, and
definitely
this could play very well into his hands, and could leave Rami with a good shot at taking the race win. That is, if the rain keeps going, the track gets wet, and then the entire field needs to pit to take rain tires. That's the only way that would happen, because he still is going to have to pit. If it dries up all of a sudden, he's going to be back to his one-stop strategy and have to pit in and take some dry tires and fill up his fuel tank.
Yep, definitely. And so I can see the players here, and they're really taking things easy. They're really very, very careful around some of the turns, because obviously, I mean, most of the cars shouldn't feel exactly too good, because they've been banged up, and they're in a pretty bad state already with only 40 minutes of the race. And now it's starting to rain, which doesn't make life easier at all for the players. So, this is, there's going to be a lot of communication now. Thank God we have TeamSpeak. And that's some close racing here between Jakob de Boer in 5 and in position number 6, Corse online player Alessio Lucchesi. We've seen a lot of him today, and he's now preparing to make a move on de Boer. And he's drawing back in the last minute. He is drawing back indeed, even though... Oh, and de Boer has problems coming out of that turn, and he catches Lucchesi. no intention there by Jakob, of course, at all, but Alessio has some problems. Now he's going to make... he's not going to make the move, but he forces De Boer out. He forces De Boer out, and again now he forces De Boer to take a different spot for braking. Yes, David?
Yeah, we have Adam Shaw at pit. The first one pitting in since we have the rain.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, interesting. Is there any way we can tell what tires he comes out with? Oh, and now we have the attack by Lucchesi and T1. And they're close together. They touch, but they both stick to their line. No, brilliant done. Absolutely brilliant. Lucchesi manages to pull that one off. That was some superb racing, but also Jakob de Boer played along, and he didn't move in. He saw what was coming, and he stuck to his guns, but not too much. And so Lucchesi is passed. Fantastic move by Alessio.
Yeah, that's
brilliant.
That's some on Jakob's part. That's some smart championship driving, because at the moment, Flying Dutchman they're in a position right now. They're sitting in, I believe, 3rd position in the championship, and they're not racing against Corse for a position. They're trying to gain points on Roaring Pipes Maniacs and Gameracer. So he's thinking very smartly, and that was a really smart thing of Jakob to do. And I know he's on a one-stopper. I believe Alessio is also on a one-stopper too. So Jacob's pace is slowed down a little bit, but he is playing it smart because he's thinking of the big picture. Well done by him.
Yeah, but look at how Lucchesi pulled. I mean, it's only a lap later, only a minute later, he's flying, literally flying away.
Let me have a look at his lap times here.
Yeah, have a quick check.
Guys, I just check if I made a mistake with the...
Yeah, mistake in water, but I think it was Ihab Abbas. Not quite sure, though.
Yes, it was Water Blue Racing.
So, what did you check, Jose?
Yeah, if I made a mistake with the with the forecast reporting to the website or something, I was checking everything and I did not. I mean, it's not my fault.
No, yeah.
You bad weatherman.
I have seen some Indians making the rain dance.
The rain dance.
Yeah, I don't know which team actually. I don't know which team actually bought those Indians, but it sure worked out. It must have been one of the teams like Corse Online.
Yeah,
we don't really have much to lose.
Well, I mean, right now you've got in the top 6 here. You got Roaring Pipes Maniacs, Gameracer, Flying Dutchman, Corse, Flying Dutchman, Flying Canadian, then a Roaring Pipes, and then Gubbklubben. And that's those guys, except for Corse Online, are all in, I believe, the top 4 and 5.
Yep. So yes, it's the top teams again. Yes, David.
I have a question. What would you do in that situation? I mean, would you risk to go on pit and get the wet tires, or would you better wait and see? Because
it depends.
I bet everybody is on. Even Adam showed that already pit is on dry tires.
Yes. It looks the way the track looks right now. I would say that they're going to be on dry tires. There's a certain point where you need to be on wets. At 30-35%, dries are borderline still quicker. 40% and up, you need to be on wets. Like if you're on 30% wet, if you can drive the dry tires quicker, if you can drive the dry tires, you will be faster than you would be on wet tires. But if you're on the wets, they're easier to drive at 30%, but you wear them down really quickly. And just on I'm watching the broadcast here, now I can see a lot of heavy rain coming down, and there's actually a spray coming up. So what's going to happen is now that the rain's getting heavier, the percentage of wetness on line and offline, which is the black line, it'll start going up, and that's when it looks like it's downpouring right now.
It definitely does. It is really,
it's
really
so
bad.
evil. It is just
it's
so
the worst.
evil.
Yeah, it's the worst rain we've had so far this season. And I tell you what I would do. I mean, it's a rather theoretical question. I would be out somewhere in the wall by that point, because I would have been caught high and dry. I mean, I'm not the best of players in a good and normal condition on a good and normal track, but on this track, in rain, I think I'd actually flee.
Yeah, you just rage quit.
Yep, I just press escape.
Ooh, contact with Rami in a Water Blue Racing car I just saw there on the broadcast. I'm not sure which car that was, but it was a Water Blue Racing, and the leader Rami, just small contact.
And we're in position number 9, and there we have Dariusz Swiderski defending like there's tomorrow against the other Dariusz Wilgosz. And behind them, Göran Johansson is vying, is waiting for something. There's a whole queue behind them. P11, Adam Shaw is also in the same lap. P12,
wow.
Nicola Dorigatti. And Jakob de Boer just exiting the pits, by the way.
Yes,
So
okay.
this is where the act is. And so Wilgosz in 9 and Swiderski in 8 having that little Polish thingy going on here. And they're running up to Theo de Boer of Blue Flag Racing. He's moving out of the way. Good chap that he is. And he lets them pass Dariusz number 1, and then if he lets Dariusz number 2 past 2 before the next turn, no he doesn't, and why should he? And so, but he'll probably make way now, yes he does. And look at them, they really have to fight just to keep those Dorans on track, don't they?
There's a lot of traffic in there as well.
A lot of traffic, and it's the lap times are reflecting. If they're all on dry tires, the lap times are reflecting the track being in and around 35 to 40% wet, which is the worst place to be because you got to make a call. You go to wets and it dries up. You need another pit stop. You stay with dries, or you go take dries, and it gets wetter. You still need to take another stop. So this is right here. This is where a gamble comes into play.
Rami's
in.
Rami's fit, so that's his first one. And the big question for him now is what do I do?
What is he on?
Change to
What
wets?
is he on?
Yes, and there's no way of telling, I'm afraid, so we really have to figure it out from the speed that he has when he comes back out. And there's just this huge traffic here. In between, there's fights. There's Adam Shaw in 10 fighting Dariusz Wilgosz in 9. Because once Swiderski has gotten past, he's made a bit of a headway there. And it's Adam Shaw now hunting down Wilgosz for position. And a bit further down the line, there's another battle. That's for 9 and 10 here, and then further down we have Göran Johansson chased by Nicola Dorigatti. They have a Flying Dutchman player between them, so that's probably a lap
That'd
off.
be Jakob.
That would be Jakob de Boer, and now Johansson has to let him pass. And oh, look at that! Dorigatti moves past as well, takes advantage of Johansson slowing down, of course, obviously to let Jakob de Boer pass. No, it's not de Boer, sorry, no. It must have been Marijn van Bommel. De Boer is on 13.
Marijn van Bommel is lapping the same pace as Mikko at this point, and he's 7 seconds back of Mikko. And they're lapping at a 103.1, and because they've both pitted, they're losing right now about 3 seconds a lap with dry tires on, which that puts you in the neighborhood of 35 to 40% wet, which is right borderline. So here's the thing: if there's a guy, okay, let's say Jakob goes into the pits and he took wets, he is going to capitalize on this whole situation. So will sorry, who was it? Rami.
Great move by Adam Shaw. Sorry to interrupt you. Adam Shaw passed Dariusz Wilgosz for position 10 and 11. Sorry to interrupt, Keith.
No problem.
And I think it's actually getting a bit lighter on the horizon, but I might be mistaken.
No, it looks like it is not raining anymore. Looks like it is not raining anymore, Eckhart.
Yeah, looks like it's drying up. So those who stayed out actually wisely stayed out, and I haven't seen anybody moving in. It was just the regular one-stoppers, wasn't it?
Yeah, looked like it.
So we're with P10, we're with Dariusz Wilgosz, and oh, he's having to let a player past who is lapping him. Yes, one of the Flying Dutchman Racing. That's why he was going so slow. And spotter tells me to go to P7, and there we are. It's Danny Asbury, the man with the quick pen, and obviously he does have some quick tires as well, because he's in position number 7 for Torin Motorsports, followed by Dariusz Swiderski, who I must say, silence please, I beat him in a rally on Monday. Yes.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh, yes indeed.
Swiderski.
I just had to put that in. It was we were doing a test, Richard Burns rally with full damage on, which really hurts if you just hit anything at all. And it was Monte Carlo, so it was kind of between icy and not icy. And I was just, you know me, I was extremely cautious. Most of the other players weren't. I ended up in 4th position out of a field of 14 or something. And all the quick guys were behind me.
Well done.
You discovered your kind of competition, man. You're a rally driver.
I am, because I can't get in anybody's way. I feel so good because I'm not having these blue flag moments all the time.
It's just you in the road, eh, Eckhart?
Yep, just me in the road and some rocks and some trees.
Hey, I just wanted to fix something that I had said earlier. Alessio Lucchesi is not on a 1-stop. He was on a 2-stop because I went through his times and he did take what he did. He did the same thing that Mikko did. He shorted his stop. He did a minute 34 in the pits. What was it here? A minute 34. So the shortest stop, I believe, was Mikko. He did on his pit stop in his lap was a minute 31. And then Alessio did a minute 34, and everyone else averaged around a minute 40. So they took about 6-7 seconds less of fuel. So they're going to be when Mikko hits the next time around, he's going to need to make up for those seconds that he didn't take. So in reality, the gap of 7 seconds to Martin van Bommel is going to be given up on the second set of pit stops if he can keep the gap.
Yep, unless he took a bit more fuel to begin with.
That's true. If I remember correctly, I think the FDR guys always would have started with full fuel. Possibly. Now I may be incorrect on that.
Yeah, I have no idea. I really have no idea. So we're still with Danny Asprey here.
Good battle.
Brilliant battle here, and very clean lines by Danny. And you can see the track drying up. Sun's coming out again, so there goes the rain. However, it's still a bit dark in the background, so it actually might come back. We've seen that before with this weather model that we use, that there's a bit of rain, then it lets up, and then it comes back again, which is, players hate that actually.
I do too. I hate it. But you know what?
It makes for good watching.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And I'm watching Jakob de Boer's lap times to try to figure out if he is in fact on wet tires, because what we'll notice is we will start to see his lap times will go down as the track starts to dry up because the tires will start overheating. So, but if he did take dries, you know what? His lap time is a 1:01.8. He's definitely on dries. Jakob will definitely be coming out well after everyone takes their second stops because he's on a 1-stopper, as well as Rami Kaukola. So Rami Kaukola is the highest up 1-stop driver at this point.
Swerve now by Swiderski. Sorry there, Keith. As he tries to get out of the way, actually, of I think Jakob de Boer or maybe Marijn van Bommel, but I think it's Jakob actually. And this brings Adam Shaw into a great fighting position to overtake him, and he didn't manage to pull it off. I thought he was going to get past, but he didn't. And now De Boer is out of that pack there, and we still have Asprey running in 5 now. There must have been some pit stops along the way. Yes, I think we can see Kaukola. I think we see Kaukola coming out of the pits, or is it Aponte?
It's Aponte, yeah.
It's Aponte, okay.
Okay.
So Asprey has actually gained some position there. Has he been to the pits? I don't think so.
No, I'll tell you right now. Let me just quickly look at the times. He has not pitted. He is still on a very long 1-stopper, and
that's an amazing strategy.
And he's at a minute 3. He's losing about 2 seconds a lap to the leaders, so he needs to pit now. Like, we're into 60 minutes, because even if he does have the last 30 minutes with fresh tires and low fuel, you still got to get by the people that you're going to be coming up on. So he's got to. All these things are factors that you need to. You have to keep in mind. One thing. Sorry.
Swiderski pitting in.
One more thing, Eckhart. I did just get notification from Reggie Blaine. He is out of the race due to he lost all cars, disappeared on him. It was a technical issue, and that's why he's gone.
Yes, I saw him disappear from our screen set. Reggie Blaine is leaving there, and he looked fine just a minute before. So, yes. Well, that happens, I'm afraid. Oh, and now Asprey is running wide. We've just talked about whether maybe his tires are completely shot by now. Now he's run wide, he's had to that Adam Shaw pass, and now he's in trouble because there is a guy called Christopher Aponte right behind him. And he is, no, sorry, it's Rami Kaukola. Rami Kaukola is right behind him, and he is a roaring pipe maniac, and they don't really leave you with very much space to breathe, do they?
No,
they
they do not.
There has been a contact between Dariusz Swiderski and Jakob de Boer.
Oh
just
no!
before the gate.
Oh no!
Well, it was a big hit. In fact, Jakob made a complete spin.
Oh no!
Okay.
And that's going to kill his strategy too with the one stop. He was looking good to make up some more positions.
Yeah, that's a really bad thing about these city tracks, isn't it? That so many things can happen that no matter what strategy you have, there's always a point where you have to improvise. There's, isn't there?
Yeah, it's, you know, you're always on your toes. You're always thinking, and sometimes things are just out of your control. I mean, you know, if there's contact, obviously sometimes that is within your control or the guy you're racing with control. But you know, things can happen.
Guys,
where you know, obviously this rain. Yeah,
sorry for the interruption, but we have Alessio Lucchesi without rear wing.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Another mishap.
Oh,
And sorry guys, if you
Corse
think,
time.
why don't they show us on the screen? It's virtually impossible to be at all these places at the same time. We're moving to
Oh,
P4
yes.
now.
Now he recovered the rear wing, but
And there's a
Lost
huge
that
battle. Adam Shaw and Rami Kaukola, they're now moving into 4 and 5 as they pass Alessio in the pits. And that is, I think, the closest battle on the grid now. So let's stick with Adam Shaw and Rami Kaukola. And it just goes to show what a superb player Rami is. I mean, we watched him earlier. We watched him really coming to terms with that completely battered Doran, and he seems to have figured it out. I've noticed this time and again. Just give Kaukola something like 10-20 laps. With however bad the car is, he will have figured out a way to make it quick.
It's like a fine wine; it gets better with age.
Yeah, well, I think he'd be happier with a completely good car, but it's just that he knows how to build a fast lap around the quirks of the car.
Yeah, he knows how to adapt, and judging by the lap times here, I'm just looking at Adam Shaw. Adam Shaw's pace is about half a second to a second a lap slower than Rami. So
and there he goes. Kaukola is past. Sorry to interrupt you. He's flying past. That's what I call exit speed. Out of that last chicane before the start and finish straight, he can just very nearly put it off there in the turn at the end of the start and finish straight. Very nearly went into the wall, but just managed to squeeze past that. Brilliant move by Rami Kaukola. Not the first we've seen by him by far, but that was another really good one. Well done, Rami.
Well, and also, as far as I can tell, okay, Adam Shaw pitted on lap 39, Kaukola on 45. So Kaukola's on a fresher rubber, but they are approaching the second stop coming up here. But with that incident with Alessio Lucchesi, that put Tyler Scurlock, the second race ever in STC, into a top 3 position, which is, very well done on him. Very well done. Brilliant.
Well then, talking of who is actually up front, let's go to the front and see who's actually leading this race. We're caught up in all these interesting dogfights here somewhere in the middle, and now Kaukola goes a little wide and into the wall. But let's not forget there's a race leader somewhere, and let's see who he is. Scurlock in the pits. So just let me tell you, while the camera goes to P6, that Mikko Korkiakoski is now leading the race. Position number 1 for him. And it's a bit like a driving school, and he's pitting in right now as I'm speaking. He's pitting in right now.
Mikko's into the pits? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're starting the second stops.
Mikko and Tyler. Tyler is at pit as well.
And Marijn van Bommel is into the pits as well in position number 2. And don't forget, he was overtaken in the pits. Tyler Scurlock leaves the pits in position number 3. Rami Kaukola is still out in 4. So let's stick with Mikko and see what happens if he really has to take that longer pit stop.
You know what? I think he's going to have to. I have a feeling, and this could be a lead changing. 10-foot Bommel takes the lead, but I'm going by timing here. I think Martin has the lead by a few tenths. Could we get the camera to the leader?
Here goes Korkiakoski, and he goes out first.
Okay, it's because his pit stop was a little further. I got a little excited. All I have is timing here.
Exactly.
Never mind.
It's exactly what you said. Martin pit was ahead of Mikko's pit, so that's why.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense now.
So Korkiakoski out in 1 against all the odds, let's put it that way, and the rain is actually becoming a bit heavier again. There's a spray behind the cars again. There used to be, it was gone, but it's back again. And I can also see some of the virtual rain on my screen here, so it's coming back on. Korkiakoski in 1, Marijn van Bommel in 2, and Tyler Scurlock in 3, and as you just said, this is a brilliant result for, well, not quite a newcomer, but almost a rookie here at the STC.
Yes, well, and actually, he got ahead of the guy he needed to, because Rami's on the 1-stopper, and the whole idea with his 2-stoppers, he needs to get out ahead of the 1-stopper so that he doesn't try to make the move to get back by with his fresh tires. And I just noticed that Jakob de Boer, who is also on a 1-stopper, has put himself into 6th position now.
And speaking of Rami, he's right behind Tyler Scurlock, and now Scurlock,
he's right there.
Being new to the series, will have to experience one of the worst things, and that is Rami Kaukola full in your screen. I have never experienced it, mind you, fighting for position, but it must be awesome.
Oh yeah, and Rami will race solid, and if unless he can get by cleanly, this isn't a place to make a hasty move, because you can not only end the guy who you're trying to pass his race, but also
huge traffic here under the arch. There's huge traffic. They're both running up to it, and now he has a run on Tyler. Now they're out onto the long straight, the long, slightly curved straight, and he's in the slipstream. He's moving out on the right side, but he's pulling back. There were both the Gameracer FlatOut Club cars, plus the Black Rebel racer Chris Jacques. And that was really some traffic they were caught in, but Tyler got away with it.
Well, I actually saw what started the whole thing was he had came up to a lap car. I couldn't quite see who it was. I was a little behind you, but he had his nose to the inside of the lapper heading into the archway, and the driver carried on, and Tyler pulled back in line, and then the driver braked when, I guess, thinking that Tyler would go inside. Tyler hit the guy in the back, and then that caused a bit of a kerfuffle and slowed down the whole group of cars there.
Certainly did, and Rami very nearly could take advantage of that. That was a lap ago, and we're already in the same place again. This is only a minute here at Trois Rivieres, and Tyler has gained a little bit of breathing space again, so I suppose that at this point in the race, Rami's just playing for time, just following him, waiting for the younger guy to make a mistake.
Well, and also the tires again. That's let me just have a quick look at the tires. Tyler is on 4-lap-old tires. Rami pitted on 45, so he's gone. Geez, that's 60. So he's on 15-lap-old tires, and he has to go to the end of the race with them. So unless he can get by now and keep him behind him, Tyler hasn't shown that his pace is that far off of Rami's this race. So I don't think it's going to be a matter of him just getting by quickly. He's going to have to earn it, because the pace is equal between the two drivers at this point.
Yep, definitely. So it's going to be a bit of wait and see, and now they're running up to one of the Waterloo Racing players, and I'll see if they get past him with no problems. I suppose it's Dariusz Swiderski. He's moving out of the way now of Tyler. And let's see if Rami can also catch him. No, he can't before the next turn. That's also, that's always what you try to do, do it in one move, but it was impossible here. But now Swiderski moves out of the way again, and Rami Kaukola is passed indeed.
Interesting story here. Jesper Taulborg is only one lap down at this point, I believe. And he is in 15th position, coming back from basically his car getting totaled in the first corner. And I do believe he does need to make his second pit stop, though, shortly here. So we'll wait.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing, isn't it? That just goes to show how fast the guy is. And we're following Alessio Lucchesi here in position 11 and fighting. Oh, and now hitting Göran Johansson of the Gubbklubben. Obviously misjudging his breakpoint just a wee little, and a fantastic save by Göran. How he managed to pull that one off. Must be all these Swedish rally driving genes there. That was brilliant car control there. He was halfway up in the air and then just caught it as he landed. And so Göran stays in 10, but now he has misjudged his breakpoint, and Lucchesi goes by on the outside. That was a great move there, Alessio. Well done indeed. He was waiting for it. He has been waiting for it for a long time, I think, and he's passed Göran Johansson. And let's move down, Jose, to 12 and 13, because there's an equally interesting battle going on there. Another involving another one of the Corse online players. This time it's Danny Asbury for Torrent Motorsports, down in 12. That's where he started the race, I think. Yes, it is. And he's fighting on position number 13, Nicola Dorigatti of the Corse online. And they're very close indeed here at this point in the race. So Keith, I don't remember, have we seen you on track in the STC this season so far?
This season, no. I've raced in seasons past. I raced once for DHR GP, or DHR Simcraft, sorry. I raced once with FDR as well. The problem for me is that the races start at 3 p.m. my time, and in the summertime, especially now, like I run a bit of business myself, and it's very difficult for me to, right now, today I got poor weather, so I'm not working. And I figured I'd just come in here and kind of help out with the broadcast, because I love the league. It's STC is what inspired me to start up, my league ATCC and AGTC, and obviously to keep the standard of broadcasting up. And but I would love to race. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this looks like this is where I'd like to be rather than at work any day.
well, something we do share. And anyway, here's Danny Asbury doing what he does best, and that is staying in front of Alessio Lucchesi Nicola Dorigatti. I do mix them up, those Italians. And Dorigatti now has a chance because Asbury is running a bit wide. He's trying to catch his Doran before the arch. He can. And now he's having trouble. He's really in serious trouble now, and Dorigatti will move past. And he is followed by I think it's Tyler Scurlock, but I'm not quite sure because they are being blue flagged here. So it should be Tyler, and now Tyler's moving past, and Dorigatti has to make sure that he squeezes back in before Danny. And he does. Look at Danny. Danny is hard on the brakes. Car is going all over the place. And now he has to line up behind Nicola Dorigatti again. And now there's another blue flag situation because I think it's Rami Kaukola coming up. This looks like the fight between P3 and P4, but they're being caught in. It's Tyler Scurlock in 3 and it's Kaukola in 4. And they're, so that sets a bit of a problem here for Dorigatti and for Danny Asbury, but they're managing fine, I think.
Yeah, it's tough here. I mean, anytime you can, if you're a little off the pace and you can keep things together and obviously not impede some of these guys. Like, just looking at the list here now, I mean, we've got the top 4 are, the front 2 guys, almost the entire field has been put a lap down. I mean, Jakob de Boer is the last car on the lead lap.
All right. That's what usually happens at Trois Rivieres. You end up with something like 4 to 5 guys in one lap, and then the rest of the field 1 to 6 laps down.
Yes, exactly. And we've got Jakob de Boer is still holding on to the lead lap. I think he's just in front of Mikko at this point right now.
Well, having said that, let's go and find out. I should say, why don't we go to position number 1 and see what's happening up there in the front.
The battle with Tyler and Rami still continues, but you can tell Rami's pace has fallen off while Tyler's is getting quicker as his fuel tank gets lighter. So Rami, you know, for him to get by Tyler, I think Tyler's going to have to make a mistake, and Rami's going to have to defend very strongly.
Yep. I think it's actually just a waiting game. And position number 1, Mikko Korkiakoski, and it's yeah, he's all alone up there. He does have quite a big gap before we have second position Marijn van Bommel. And there's people spinning now all over the place. I mean, concentration is beginning to slip. These guys have been at it now for 70 minutes. And so I just now saw Theo de Boer putting in a spin. I just now saw one of the Gameracer FlatOut Club players spinning. And this is obviously going to be a problem for the last 20 minutes here, that concentration is beginning to slip. And speaking of what's going to happen in the last 20 minutes, am I mistaken, or is it getting lighter again?
I don't know. It gets dark, it gets light, it rains, it shines. It's just it's a whole mess of weather.
Well,
but it's good
April.
Fun.
Yeah, we call it April.
Yeah, that's true. It is. Yes, it is April. When I just lost my life timing, I need to reopen it.
And Korkiakoski is running up to a flying Dutchman player. That should be Jakob de Boer, a lap down.
Yes.
And he is about to be lapped, so that means we would then only have, what, 4 players in one lap.
We have 13 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. So I would say about 13 laps, give or take.
Okay, and it looks like a safe one here for Korkiakoski. That's why he's not really pushing it here, trying to get past. That was a clever move by de Boer in that turn, going on the outside. Really leaves a lot of space for the guy lapping on the inside. And now they're both lapping one of the Gameracer FlatOut Club players. No problem there. De Boer running just a little wide. But Korkiakoski seems to be easily in control of the race now. But let's not forget, there were 1 or 2 moves along the line which might lead to some incident reports all throughout the field. So really the result that you see here, you need to go and check the forum something like a week from now, once all the decisions have been made.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you know, the incident in turn 1, obviously we're only going from our view. It'll have to be reviewed. And also, I did miss that, but you said when the pass from Mikko on Rami was a little bit forceful, and obviously that'll be looked at as well. But anything else that may have happened on track will, I'm sure, be looked at by the officials. And at the end of this race, we will have the unofficial results. Check the forums later for the official results and the updated points.
Yep, exactly. So, but can you give me, I mean, you've got access to live timing, can you give me the time difference between Mikko and position number 2?
It's going to be a ballpark, but it looks, I'm going to say about 8/10 between Mikko, or sorry, 8 seconds between Mikko and Marijn. Tyler Scurlock is lapping exactly the same speed as Mikko and Marijn, and he is 26 seconds back of Mikko, so he is 18 seconds back of Marijn. 4th position, Rami Kaukola is 4 seconds back of Tyler, 35 seconds back of Mikko. And the only real battle that looks like it could take place, we've got a battle with in 10th and 11th with Johansson and Doragati. They're basically on top of each other according to timing.
The naughty boys.
Yes, that's right.
So, with the field spread evenly out, time for one final famous rundown here of the whole field before we concentrate on the finish. It's Mikko Korkiakoski for Gameracer FlatOut in position number 1 after a very, very eventful race here at Trois Rivieres. Then in position number 2 it's Marijn van Bommel for the Flying Dutchman Racing, right now lapping one of the Gameracer FlatOut Club players. Position number 3, Tyler Scurlock for the Flying Canadian Racing, so maybe taking home some points here for a Canadian team in virtual Canada, which of course would be fine.
Yes.
Rami Kaukola exiting very slowly as we catch up on him out of the arch, so apparently it may be that his tires are beginning to cause him a minor headache at this point. Then in 5, Adam Shaw going through the arch as well now, so that's the difference between him and Kaukola, so it's almost a third of a lap. In 6, Jakob de Boer for Flying Dutchman Racing, so great overall result for them. 7, Christopher Aponte, and if you consider that this guy came from 16 and managed to get out of all the trouble that could have come his way, that is a fantastic result. For me, really, this is the drive of the evening here. Sorry, Christopher, we haven't really shown much of you, but that must have been a very steady but very forceful drive, taking him from 16 all the way up to 7. Fantastic.
And
very
some
important,
big points too.
Very important, yeah, for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, you're right. In 8, Dariusz Swiderski, we've seen a lot of him. He's been fighting all the game for the Black Rebels. Followed again, again closely by Alessio Lucchesi. These two are at it again. I don't really think, if you show Lucchesi anything yellow further a bit later tonight, he's not going to react in a very positive way. Göran Johansson in 10. The traffic here. 11, that's the guy following him, Nicola Dorigati, so both of the Corse Online players involved in heavy fights all the way through, all the way from start to finish. Very eventful race for them. In 12, Danny Asbury, we saw him fighting a lot earlier on. He's obviously slowing down just a little now. 13, Dariusz Swiderski for the Waterblue Racing, great result for them. 14, Daniel Beck for the Gubbklubben. And he came from... Oh, he came from 10, sorry, I thought he was one of the guys moving up, but he's down from 10. And then 15, Jesper Taulborg, who suffered so badly in the very first turn. He was down 2 laps, and now he's back in 15, so at least he's taking home some points for his team. With Skyler Turlock in 3, they should have a good overall finish.
There is
16.
Also points for pole as well, too, I do believe, right?
Oh yes, oh yes. And 16, Chris Juck in a terribly banged up Black Rebels black car. He was also involved as a, totally unawares part in that crash in turn 1 first lap, so he was in 6 and now he's down to 16. 17, Konrad Stanchak of the Blue Flag Racing. That just goes to show you how far Jesper Taulborg went. 18, Ihab Abbas. 19, Nick Newcomb of the Gameracer FlatOut Club, going into the wall just as we see him, and that was, I think, Aponte following him there. And 20, Ken Bell, second of the Gameracer FlatOut Club. And then Theo De Bruyne has just withdrawn from the race, sad to say, but he's going to score points because he managed to finish 75%. So nothing much left, he was in last position anyway. Well, position number 6, Jose, is where Keith tells us to head.
Well, I'm just considering, like, we're coming to the last 5 minutes here now. Now, the battles that you really want to catch are the ones that are going to make a difference for points coming out of this race. And you've got Adam Shaw right now just ahead of Jakob de Boer, and the gap has closed. It was at 1 point 10 seconds. It is down to, it looks about 4 seconds.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, Keith. There's a huge problem here for Christopher Aponte, Dariusz Swiderski, and Alessio Lucchesi in 9, 7, and 8. And there's been contact between all three of them. And Aponte recovered, and Swiderski recovered, but Lucchesi is down a little. Aponte now in 7, Swiderski in 8, and Lucchesi in 9. Sorry to interrupt you, Keith.
Oh, no problem.
I just caught that going up the grid back again, and it was in a chicane coming out on the start and finish straight, and I didn't exactly see what happened, but it seems that Swiderski and Aponte touched just a little, and then Lucchesi had nowhere to go, and then did a full spin. So he was the one really suffering the most, but I actually didn't quite see how it happened. But Aponte managed to stay in front in that group. He is now, and involved in that as well, is Tyler Scurlock, because he is now coming up to these three, and he's trying to lap Aponte at this point.
Yeah, he has a fair gap to Rami at this point. He has about 6 seconds over Rami Kaukola, who is 4th position. But the gap between Jakob and Adam seems to be steady around 2 seconds. It just looked like, I think Adam made a mistake, and that's why the gap's closed down, because there are some big points that are to be gained for the FDR team over FlatOut, who they are chasing. But as it sits right now, the points should be very interesting because Roaring Pipes Maniacs is compared to the two teams behind them, is going to score the least over FDR and FOR. So it's going to be really good to see how tight this is after this event.
Yep. Plus, then after the incident reports, so let's see what that does to the points table.
Course,
so,
yes.
so really, people have to follow the forum. And Theo de Bruyne has actually called it a day, left the Doran in the box, and in the pits, and went back home. Theo, well done. You suffered a long time, and you were only reserved. You just came on the server, I think, with about 1 minute to go or so, because our #1 player turned up. So there you are. Thank you very much indeed. And Christopher Aponte is still clinging to that position number 7 with Dariusz Swiderski following him, and Aponte, look at him, is all over the place. That Doran is just so beaten up, it must be close to unplayable by now. And that is, I think, the chance for Swiderski. Yep. I mean, if I... Oh, and now that was close. Server was almost going up. Black spike on my screen here, but it went back to normal. Don't know if you saw it, and it's all pretty laggy now. That's not going to help a lot.
No. Yeah, there was a bit of a lag.
We can see players slowing down. We can see players being very, very careful indeed. Let's hope that lag spike is out any second. Yes, no, it's not. It's still up there.
Because the live timing is also given a bit of a beat, so let's just hope it stays live and we don't have any issues coming to the end. We're with 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining in the race, guys.
2 minutes remaining. But it's taking away all the opportunity for Dariusz Swiderski, and it's back to normal now on my screen. So Swiderski still has 2 laps to try to find a way past Aponte, but Aponte, let me tell you, is a very hard nut to crack.
Nice. Yep. Oh, actually, sorry, I do believe there is more time remaining, because it is, according to live timing, we have 1 hour 28 minutes in, but I don't know if that accounts for the 2 minutes of lead-up time in. There you go. I'm just getting a note from the guys in the chat that add the 2 minutes before the start. So we, in fact, have 2 minutes and 93 seconds, or 2 minutes and 53 seconds left.
Well, 2 minutes left for Mikko Korkiakoski. Sorry, Keith.
Yep. No, go ahead.
So it should be about 3 laps to go for Mikko Korkiakoski here in position number 1 at Trois Rivieres, or Three Rivers, in Quebec, Canada, on this extremely challenging, tight course. We've seen a hugely interesting game here, hugely interesting race, with rain setting in with about 40-45 minutes of the race, and people who have been on a 2-stop or on a 1-stop strategy, so all sorts of stuff going on. Plus, we saw some incidents along the way that mixed up the field a little bit, and
this is the penultimate. Mikko will start the penultimate lap.
And it's penultimate lap for Mikko Korkiakoski, I hear, and we just saw Konrad Stanchak very nearly finishing his race there as Korkiakoski approaches him now to be lapped. He was in the wall just before, he just dug himself out of that position, and now he has to let both Korkiakoski and that Gubbklubben player following him through. And so, quick summary of the race from you, Keith. Highs and lows.
Narrow, narrow, and very narrow.
Nice one.
But Mikko did pull off a good run. Obviously these are unofficial results, but for him to pull himself back together and put the win down on the track was very well done by him, and also really well done by Tyler, pulling to getting his, well, you're not going to curse it, but his first top 3. The points, I think the points are going to have quite a change. I think they're going to be pulled in a lot tighter after this race. So again, the excitement is always there in STC.
Race control tells me this is now officially the very, very last lap for Mikko Korkiakoski, who is followed by that tenacious Gubbklubben player. I don't know who he is, actually. I will check in half a second. But
Daniel Beck.
Daniel Beck. Someone's proving he can just lap at exactly the same speed that the race leader does. I love that. It's fantastic.
Well, the gap closed down for Martin. Has closed the gap down to 3 seconds. You can see him in the same frame. Excuse me. But I believe Mikko is just taking his time.
We can see him there in the back.
He's just taking his time. He wants to Mikko wants to finish this without any incident.
Yep, I would be a bit miffed actually at Daniel Beck going so close, because there's always the chance of something happening. There's always the chance of some traffic coming on. And look at that! Look at Daniel Beck now, totally misjudging his brake point there. But anyway, here goes Mikko Korkiakoski, the last time on the start and finish straight over the curbs again, and there he goes. He wins the race at Trois Rivieres, and it is really close, because in the back we saw Marijn van Bommel cross the line, and it's Tyler Scurlock in 3 who is now heading for the last time at left-hander here. Then out, right, left again, and he's out on the start and finish straight. It's both Flying K racing cars actually. Jesper Taulborg a lap down, Tyler Scurlock in 14th. Yes, Tyler Scurlock in 3, brilliant result for him. This puts Rami Kaukola into 4 for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. And we thought he might have chance to pass, but look at the distance now between them. There was actually no chance at all on those tires with that car to do anything else than just bring it home. And he's trying to make a nice slide there across the finish line. Well done, Rami, as the AI takes over and sets things right again. Position number 5 for Adam Shaw, and position number 6 for Jakob de Boer. This is the result here at Trois Rivieres. And so that means we're leaving now with the national anthem. Should I say, do we have the national anthem coming up?
Yes, we have.
Brilliant. Here goes then a national anthem for the winning team and player. Well, that was the well-deserved anthem for race winner Mikko Korkiakoski, who right at this time, right at this moment, joined our channel here, has stumbled into the broadcast room. Mikko Korkiakoski, that was a very hard-fought win, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I can't even tell you how difficult that was. I remember last season the race was insane, and this time it was even more so. I can't even. I don't have the words. Everything happened that you can have for one driver in a race. Hit the walls countless times. Hit the back markers. They hit me. Yeah. Oh, rain also. That was nice.
Yes, and coming and going, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't. Actually, when it started, it wasn't too bad because it didn't really turn into a monsoon rain or anything like that. It was just a slight drizzle, and yeah, the track was just damp pretty much. I think it didn't dry up at all. It was just the same, pretty much the same damp all through when it started to rain. So the conditions after that didn't change too much. Just had to be a bit more careful, of course, with the worn tires. And yeah, basically my last stint was just trying to avoid hitting the walls too much and keeping the car on track, because I knew I have the pace to keep the lead. But then talking to my race engineer on TeamSpeak caught me off guard. I hit the wall quite badly and damaged the car. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it. I guess you didn't, but yeah, I first hit the tire barrier and then the other side of the track, the other wall, and yeah, I was pretty scared. Is this it? Did I just lose the race by being too chatty on TeamSpeak? Hopefully, yeah, I managed to. Yeah, almost had a heart attack on the last lap a few times with the lap cars. So, oh man.
Okay, so we have a very tired winner of the race, but congratulations anyway. And
thank you,
Keith. Here's a second positioned Marijn van Bommel for you. Pose your questions.
10. It was a very, very strong race you put together, my man. How do you feel the race went for you?
Oh, I'm so glad to get a second podium for FDR, but I think I lost in the first pit stop when I had to take fuel on board. The guys behind me left with a full tank, I guess, so they only had to stop for tires, and I lost quite a lot of time in the first pit stop. But other than that, I had an amazing race, really great.
Well, I actually was following your lap times, and you'd lost 9 seconds in the initial pit stop, and we were trying to debate in the booth whether it was Mikko had he shorted his fuel on the first stop and was going to take it in the second, but it turns out that you started with less fuel, so Eckhart was right, and I owe him $5.
but 50 liters.
50 liters. Okay. Well, I mean, you drove really strong. Obviously, we were noticing that it's smart driving from the FDR guys. How do you feel your chances are heading into the last half of the season for the team championship, which is very elusive here at STC?
I think we are getting stronger and stronger each race, and although I have already 4 races under my belt, I hope to do a last one and finish just as strong or even better. And the rest of the team is also very strong, so I'm very, very positive.
Well, your results have got better and better with pretty much every race you've done, and that's really the key. And I just want to say congratulations on the run today, and we'll have Eckhart take the next guy. I think we're missing Tyler though.
Yes, but we do have his teammate Jesper Taulborg with us for a change. Hello, Jesper.
Hello.
So, you really had a very, very, very difficult race, didn't you?
Yeah, indeed. Don't know what I did at the start.
Yeah, we'll all have to watch the replay, I think. There was this contact in turn 1, and then you actually had to pit straight away because the damage was too bad, didn't you?
Yeah, I lost my rear wing, and the car was very unstable, so I had to pit.
Right, and then you made your way back up, and then the rain even started. Did that actually help you make your way back up, or did it make things even worse?
It didn't really do anything, because
so
it wasn't really that wet.
Okay, so it was just up, and I think you managed to get up to position 14 in the end, so at least you secured some points for the team, didn't you?
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, well, also with us is Jakob de Boer from the Flying Dutchman Racing. Just a very quick comment on the race from you before we wrap up the broadcast.
Well, I think I had one of my best races ever. Oh, man. So thrilling. I was on a one-stopper, and I don't think a lot of people were on a one-stopper. And I used soft tires, and it really paid out in the second stint. I was closing down the gap to... well, who was it? Shaw? In those last laps, my tires really started to get worn. I even got a warning, but man, I can get him. So I was pushing like a madman, and I think, well, first to last lap, I made a small mistake, and well, I couldn't make it anymore, but I was really trying to push and to get him. But hey, 6th place, it's very good. I had a very bad qualify, so I'm happy.
Brilliant. Well, that leaves us with many happy players here in the broadcast room, and it's goodbye from me at this point. But before we go, of course, we need to say a big thank you to David Garcia, Race Direction. Thank you, David.
Thanks to you, as usual, to you and Keith and Jose.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you to Jose for the camera work. Well done, man.
Thanks, and thanks to David, you, and Keith, of course.
And of course, I leave last word to Keith Barrick, a Canadian, to round up the broadcast from Trois Rivieres.
Well, leaving Three Rivers, I think the championship's going to be tightened up a bit between the top 3 teams. I think there'll be a bit of a gap back to 4th and 5th. However, with 5 races to go, we're looking at, I believe it's 5 races, isn't it? Yeah, 5 races. But the next race being at, 6 races, sorry. The next race being at Sugo. I think there's still a lot of racing to be done, and the championship is still way up in the air. And let's just see if we can get the weather right and put down some good laps with everyone on track. So thanks for having me again, guys, and we'll see you at Sugo.